It's time to put the end on now. So basically what you want to do is measure from that bucket to that bucket right there is 22 inches, okay? So once you get that measurement right, then you come down on this end and you just put the buckets apart 22 inches just like that. And then you're going to measure the length of between inside the two elbows, because I just basically put them on there. They're not glued on yet. You don't want to glue them on yet until you get everything kind of mocked up, because you'll end up with weird angles and you won't be able to get shit glued in right. So basically you want that pipe to kind of go downward at an angle, and I use an 1.5 inch pipe to come down, because sometimes those roots like to grow in those pipes and you really don't want to go to 3/4 inch too soon, because if you do, your roots are going to clog up that 3/4 inch and you're going to have clog. So what I do, the way that I figured out around that was to just bring that 1.5 inch pipe down further to give those roots a little bit of room to grow in. So anyway, this is what I came up with. So the inside measurement was the total length of that inside measurement, I believe, was 20. It was 20.5. Okay. So what I did was just cut two 12-inch pipes, glued them to this T right here. Just go ahead and glue them in there. So just like that. And then I made a mark in the center, and then I measured out evenly down to here, and then made a mark on this pipe and a mark on that pipe, and then cut them off. So now you have the same length on both sides, and that's important because you want your pull, where the water's going to be pulling from here, you want it to be even. You don't want one side to be a little bit longer than the other, because you'll get an uneven pull. So you definitely want these two to be exactly the same on those. And then this right here is 24 inches that's going to go in this right there. All right, so that's going to go in there. So what you have to do is, on this 24-inch pipe, you have to put the end on it that your 3/4 inch is going to go into. So you're going to need a coupler like this, an 1.5 inch coupler, and that's just going to go on this end just like that. That'll go on there. So I'll go ahead and put the coupler on now. We just went ahead and primed that end. You don't want to prime both ends, because you're going to have to stick that in there to mock this up. Not yet. You don't want to do that yet. You just want to put this coupler on now. Alright. This is how you're going to get your 1.5 inch pipe. That's how you're going to get your 1.5 inch to go to 3/4. Alright. So now you got this piece right here. This is a I can't think of the name of it now. I'm not a plumber. But anyway, this piece right here will fit right inside the coupler. Basically, that just is like a reducer, a bushing. I think that's what they call it, a reducer bushing. So that reduces from 1.5 inch down to 3/4 inch, okay? So you're gonna prime that too. So you're gonna prime that too. So right there. Now, put your glue inside the coupler like this. Just glue inside of there like that. And stick your bushing in. Boom, like that. Now I've cut a little piece of pipe right here, 3/4 inch. I only cut like maybe 4 inches. That's all you need. All right. So now you're gonna glue that. Just throw some glue on it. And stick that inside the bushing, just like that. Okay. That's inside your bushing. So this is what you end up with right there. All right. That's your lead. That's your run pipe. I call it a root runner. That's your root run pipe that goes down. So if you do get roots that try to run, it ain't gonna clog it up, because you don't go to a 3/4 inch so soon. You kind of give it like 24 inches of play. You know what I mean? So I've never had roots reach that all the way down to here. I've never had it. I used to, when I did 3/4 inch on that end, I would have a bunch of them get bumped up in there. But with these 3-month systems, now that I run 3 months with these, I never get clogs. My pump runs the entire time. I never have problems. So now you're gonna put this piece on right here, and that's what your hose is going to screw into. So that's already been primed on the inside, so you want to go ahead and glue that. You're going to glue that onto here. Boom, just like that. See that? And that's what your water hose that goes to your water pump screws to. You just use a regular outdoor water fitting. I might have some over here, I think. I might have moved them. Yeah, I'll find them in a minute when I put all that together. So anyway, but yeah, that's it on that. So now what you're going to do is put that inside your T. So this is what you end up with right there. You end up with that, okay? It's not glued into the T yet. You don't want to glue it in yet because you have to glue it into the buckets, into the to those 90s first. But you want to get that put together because if your angle's wrong, you won't be able to get that in. That pipe's going to lay on the floor. It's going to either rise up or it's going to be too low, and it's going to make your buckets kink backwards, and just, that's not going to look right. So don't glue that piece in yet, that big pipe. You do not want to glue that in yet. So I'm going to take this in here. And then we're going to lay this on the floor. Alright. So now we laid that on the floor where it's supposed to go. Alright. See that? You kind of want that to angle downwards so when you're doing a flush, you don't want it to go up. You want all your water to be able to drain out. So if this pipe right here is not in there right and it's angled up like that, your drain's only as good as your lowest point. So you want this to kind of aim down. So when you glue that into these 90s right there, you're going to want to make sure that that's all right. So I'll go ahead and glue them in now. And let me go grab the primer. All right, so what I've done is I just kind of primed them, and then I just kind of mocked it all up. And see how that pipe runs down and rests on the floor right there? That's what you want. You want this piece right here to be sitting on the floor because you're going to end up hooking your water hose to that, and that's going to run to your water pump. It's going to go through your water chiller. So I'll go ahead and put the glue on them now, and I'll go ahead and do that now. All right, these are the two pieces you want to glue in first. This corner right here and this corner. This ain't glued in yet. See that? That's not glued in yet. You just want to hold that in there so that you can get your angle right. I'm going to glue them in last. Those are the last two pieces to glue in. Is this one and the other one. And see how your pipe runs downhill? So it goes from here and then it runs it runs downhill to here. All right. So those are the last two pieces to glue together as far as that goes. So this is that's pretty much on the system itself. Then the rest is going to be hooking up the hooking the system up to the water chiller, and then running a return line back to the epi bucket. So that'll be in part 6. All right. So that's that for this one. Actually, I'll go ahead and glue those together now. All right. Now that's it. I glued them together. So all that's glued up, and then basically what you can do is you're going to move that against the wall. See like that. See how your pipes are against the wall. You can probably bring it out just a hair. And that's going to give you about 10 inches from the bucket to the wall, and then from 10 inches from that bucket to this bucket. So now you got a nice even spacing. All right, so you got on 20-inch centers going this way, and it's about 22 inches going the other way. All right, you're a little bit, because I find that plants tend to grow a little heavier towards the middle of the light, because your lights are going to be in the center. So plants tend to kind of congregate towards the center, and they grow a little bit faster than the outside. So you could actually space them out just a little bit extra in the middle from side to side than as you can from going from this bucket to that bucket. All right, so that's it on the bucket building part. Now we just got to basically hook it all up to the water chiller, hook it up to the pump, and then run the return line back to the control bucket, and that's it, man. It's done. It's a done system. And like I said, if you wanted to shorten it up, basically all you would need to do is just take out the middle pipes that connect the buckets to buckets, and to me, this system is so bulletproof. It doesn't use that much water, so the less water, less nutrients you have to use, you know, when you do flushes and stuff. It's like super easy to run. So yeah, that's it on this part.